Hello, I am Elias5891. Welcome to Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. Here, I'm going to try to go over the probing module, kind of explain it from both a diffuser side and an expert side. It's a tricky one that a lot of people struggle with, or maybe not necessarily struggle with, but it's a hard one to kind of grasp at first. It's one that, unless there's some consistent language, it can be a little tricky. So with this, you'll get 6 wires. You'll notice the wires are always the same color in the same order. That becomes relevant when we look at the rules. And the diffuser can click to, well, let's click different to, which will potentially give some numbers. And that's also how he logs his answer. And after 6 seconds, you get a buzz or a green, depending on if that is the correct 2 wires that need to be hooked in the correct order. So, talking about how this works, I'm going to go by how the manual describes it, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about a way to work around that, which is not quite the same. With the probing, you get 6 wires. Each wire has 3 of 4 currents, either 10, 22, 50, or 60 hertz. To probe the circuit, you connect red clip to one, blue clip to a second. It will show you the frequencies that are not common to those wires. So let's say the first wire had 10, 22, 50, second wire had 10, 22, 60. The frequencies that are not common are the 50 from the first one, 60 to the second one. So your little display there is going to show you 50, 60, much like this shows me 1060, so I know between those two, one has a 10, one has a 60. The other does not have the respective one, and they both have 2250. Now, the rules for this are actually quite simple once you figure out what's in all of them. If the red and white wire contains a 50, then you connect the red clip to the if the red and white wire, which is always this first top left wire here. If the red and white wire contains a 50, then you connect the clip to a wire with 10, 22, and 60. Otherwise, if the red and yellow, which is always this one, which most people denote as 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if the red and yellow, the fifth one, does not contain a 10, connect the red clip to the wire with 2250, 60. Otherwise, red to 10, 22, 50. And then your rule for blue, again, if it looks for the yellow and red, again, that fifth one there. If it contains a 10 this time, connect it to 10, 50, 60. Otherwise, connect it to 10, 22, 50. And then to submit your answer, you just connect to in the same way that you get the information and leave it there for 6 seconds. As such, when you're giving information as the diffuser, you want to make sure you don't accidentally leave one connected for 6 seconds. So let's look at how you do this. You'll notice I have a little Excel grid here. And it says 1 to 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5, 1 and 6. The methodology that I suggest, that I think most people have found easiest, or a lot of people have found easiest, for figuring out what frequencies are in each wire, is to take the first wire and compare it to each one of them in order. So compare it to 2, compare it to 3, compare it to 4, compare it to 5, compare it to 6. So let's do that to start. I'm going to use this top one up here. So we're going to connect. And you'll notice once you've got 2 things connected, you can't start another connection of the same one. So I'm actually going to do them in reverse order. So we're going to connect 2 to 1. That gives us, oh, I can't even read that, 1060. So 1 and 2 gives us 1060. 1 and 3 gives us 1050. 1 and 4 gives us 1022. 1022. 1 and 5 gives us 1050. And 1 and 6 gives us 1060. Now that is enough information to tell you what you need. So those are my connections. So let's actually look at each of the wires in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice that all of them are showing a 10. Well, my common wire is 1, so that 10 megahertz frequency is the one that's missing from my first wire. So 1 is missing 10. And then all the others are easy to figure out because it's just whatever other number happened to show. So 60, 50, 22, 50, 60. So these are the frequencies that are missing in each wire. Now notice this is not what they have. This is what's missing. So we take the rules. If the red wire contains a 50, well, from down here we decide that it's missing 10. It's got the other 3, so it does actually contain a 50. So we're going to connect the red clip to the wire with the frequencies 10, 22, 60. Notice the one that's missing there is 50, so we want to connect the red clip to a wire that is missing 50. If we look down here, we've actually got a couple options that is missing 50. We'll just do the first one. So that's where my red clip is going, to the third wire. Okay, second rule. If the yellow and red wire, that's wire number 5, contains a 10. We look here, it's missing 50, so yes, it does contain a 10. So we're going to use that rule. Connect the blue clip to the wire with the frequencies 10, 50, 60. So connect the blue clip to the wire missing 22. We look here, the only thing that's missing 22 is 4. So that's where my blue clip goes. So to solve this, we'll click somewhere at random. We'll kind of get them out of the way. Red is going to hit the third clip, and blue is going to hit the fourth clip. And you'll notice it shows 2250 here, which matches up. 2250 is what we thought they had, and it turns green. Now let's look at this again. This can be a little tricky. So let's wipe this, wipe this, wipe this. Let's do this one here in the second one. 1 to 2 is 2260. Or no, 22. Actually, my resolution's a little. Let me turn this up for just a second. That should be a little easier to see, hopefully. Let's try that again. 1 to 2 is 2250. 2250. 1 to 3 is 2250 as well. 1 to 4 is 2260. 1 to 5 is 2250. And 1 to 6 should be 2210. Yep, 1022. So again, the commonality is going to be your first wire. In this case, that's 22. And everything else just gets what's left over, 50, 50, 60, 50, 10. So there's our numbers we're working with. Let's go through the rules. Red and white contains 50. Missing 22, so it does contain 50. So we're going to connect the red clip to what's missing 50. Lots of options this time. Let's just take the first one. If the red wire, the second one, contains 10, it's missing 50, so it does contain a 10. Connect to 10, 50, 60, so connect to the one missing 22. That would be our first one, blue. So it's 2 to 1 in this case, and that's typically how you hear an expert read it, is 2 to 1, or red to 2, blue to 1. So 2, 1. We'll give this a second, make sure it turns green. Ding. Now, we haven't seen this yet, so we're going to do another one, see if this case pops up. And I'm not going to lie, on my manual, I have kind of shortcutted a little bit. I have taken these rules let me get this up so you can see kind of what I've done. Yeah, this is paint, sorry. So I've taken these rules and I've actually, like, anywhere where it gives me a list of frequencies that it does have, and I'm not going to use this here, but I find it useful to have, for instead of reading what it does have, I like seeing what's missing, because that's what I'm calculating down here. That's what I'm actually figuring out. Don't have to do that, and we're not going to do that, but that's a possible tip once you get a little more comfortable with it. Let's do another one. Maybe we'll see an even case. Let's see, 2 to 1 is even. Alright, notice nothing came on when I flashed those two. That means those two actually have the same thing in them. So I'll mark that as even. 3 to 1 is 1050, 1022, 1050, 1022. Whoops, accidental click. 1060 and 1022. And you'll notice each time I read one out, I'm pretty quickly grabbing another one to make sure I don't accidentally hold it for more than 6 seconds. Let's see, commonality is 10. Everything gets whatever's left over, and the evens are going to match the first one. Since they're equal, they have the same things in them. So this one is also a 10. So let's look at our rules. If red contains a 50, it's missing a 10, so it does. So again, we're going to connect red to missing a 50. That's missing a 50. If yellow and wire contains 10, it's missing 60, so it does have a 10. Connect the blue to a wire missing 22. Missing 22. So 3 to 4. 3, 4. Good. So I'm going to give out one for you to try. Give you a little bit of time to work on it while I blank out my Excel, and we'll see if you get the same thing I do. I'll read it a little slowly. Make sure you've got time to write it down. Actually, I'll give you two. So let's do this one. You get 2250, 1050, 5060, 1050, and even. So 2250, 1050, 5060, 1050, even. Alright. Take about 30-45 seconds. Try to work that one out, and then we'll come back with what the solution should be. Alright, so we look through these, 2250, 1050, 5060, 1050, even. The commonality is 50, so that's what's missing from wire 1. So 22, 10, 60, 10, and that one was even, so it matches the first one, so we have 50. So we look at the rules. If the red and white, that's the first one, contains a 50, well, notice it's missing a 50, so for the first time we actually get to skip that rule. It does not contain a 50, it's missing 50. So we skip through this whole first rule. Otherwise, if the red and yellow, that's the fifth one, if the red and yellow wire does not contain a 10, well, if we look, it does not contain a 10. That's what's missing. So we're going to follow this rule. Connect the red clip to 225060. So we're going to connect the red clip to the wire that's missing 10, which 3 or 5 will work in this case. I went ahead and picked 5 since that's the one we calculated for. Second rule, blue. If the yellow and red, if the fifth wire contains a 10, it does not, it's missing 10. So we skip that rule. Otherwise, connect the blue clip to the wire containing 102250 or missing 60. 4 is the one that's missing 60, so 4 is going to be my blue, 5 is going to be my red. So 5, 4. Ding. Alright, we got one more, so we'll go ahead and finish it off as well. Again, I'll give you a chance to solve it instead of me doing it. We have 1050, 1050, 1060, 1022, and even. Alright, go ahead and see what you get for this one. Alright, let's see how you did. 1050, 1050, 1060, 1022 even. So we should get 10, 50, 50, 60, 22, 10 in my 1 through 6. Rules. Red and white contains a 50, missing 10, so it does contain a 50. Connect the red to 10, 22, 60, so missing 50, so either 2 or 3 will work for red. If yellow and red, fifth wire contains 10, it's missing 22, so it does contain 10. Connect the blue clip to 10, 50, 60, which is missing 22. So, missing 22, that's going to be the 5 there. So we get red to 2 or 3, and blue to 5. 2, 5. And there we have it. And that is how you go through probing. It takes some practice to get the numbers down, and some people do have other methods for what they read out, but I've noticed that the community as a large tends to use the 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6 connections. And you'll notice that after the first 1 or 2, I didn't actually read out what I was connecting. I assumed you knew I was doing 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6. Most of the community will assume that you're doing it the way they are. So if you're playing with someone new, ask them what they're going to connect before you get into a probing module. But that's it for me. Good luck with your probing. Feel free to practice this. And until next time, don't blow up and have fun. Thanks. Bye.